أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا حبيب الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله بالهدى ودين الحق أرسل أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن العظيم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إلا تنصروه فقد نصر الله إذ أخرج الذين كفروا ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار إذ يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن إن الله معنا وقال سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن العظيم والذي جاء بالصدق وصدق به أولئك هم المتقون آمنت بالله صدق الله العظيم وصدق على رسوله النبي الأمين الشفي الكريم ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين ببركة إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Durood Sharif all together. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad وما تحب وترضى بأن تصلي عليه صلاة وسلاما عليك يا حبيبي يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator, our khaliq, our malik. An abundance of durood and salawat upon the best of creation, the crown and jewel of creation, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his noble family, blessed companions and honorable wives. Respected ulama kiram, hufaz kiram, brothers in Islam, honorable elders, lovable youngsters, and those watching via social media, Salamualaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would urge the brothers to come forward as best as possible. There is a lot of barakah in the first saf. This is the saf of the greatest men to walk this earth, and the saf of the Sahaba, as well as the saf of the Malaika. There's more merits. I know some of us have back pains, but alhamdulillah, you get shifa in the first saf. May Allah give us all hadayah. Respected brothers, today I have the honor and privilege of speaking about an individual who is in elite category. He is in the greatest category because not only was he a great Muslim, not only was he a great father, father-in-law, friend, not only was he a great role model, not only was he someone that from 1400 years till today and ta Qiyamah that people will look up to. He was not only a normal individual, he was a companion of the Prophet ﷺ, but he was amongst the greatest companion of the Prophet ﷺ. He was amongst the earliest of earliest Muslims, as-sabiqun al-awwalun. He was the first man to accept Islam. He was the first Khalifa of the Prophet ﷺ. He is none other than the greatest man to walk this earth after the Anbiya Rasool, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu an. And where do we begin about the merits of Sayyidina Abu Bakr? Allahu Akbar. Days, months, weeks, years will go by. The merits of Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu will never finish. I'm going to start with talking about his blessed merits. And some of the students that are sat here have heard me talk about this, but I want you to think about the merits of Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu's blessed daughter, Sayyida Aisha Tayyiba Tahira radiyallahu anha, was with the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and they were sitting. And in that time, in that zamana, there was no roof over houses. It was an open sky, similar to in South Asia, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, open ceiling. And the Prophet ﷺ and Sayyida Aisha were looking up on the skies. And Sayyida Aisha asked, Ya Rasulullah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, is there anybody in your ummah that has good deeds equivalent to the stars? Allahu Akbar. If I asked you, how many stars are there in the galaxy? Nobody knows. Kisi ko andaza hai? Does anybody know how many stars are in the galaxy? The question is, do you have anybody in your ummah that has good deeds equivalent to the amount of stars in the sky? Not only did the Prophet ﷺ say yes, but he said yes because he knows the good deeds of his ummati. And not only this, he knows how many stars there are to compare the good deeds to the stars in the galaxy. This is the ilm al-ghaib of the Prophet ﷺ. And he says, yes, there is. Sayyidah Aisha said, please tell me who. The Prophet ﷺ said, Omar, radiyallahu anhu. Now Sayyidah Aisha, she was a daughter to Sayyidina Abu Bakr. She said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, what about my father? Allahu Akbar. How many stars in the galaxy? Uncountable. Remember this. She said, your father, all of the good deeds of Umar, equivalent to one good deed of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. Think about the maqam of Sayyidina Umar. As many good deeds as he has is the amount of stars in the galaxy. All of those good deeds equivalent to one good deed of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. Allahu Akbar. Think about the maqam of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Think about his maqam. Allahu Akbar. And then when you go further, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the ulama and the shayukh, they always say that Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu was the saya, the shadow of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. He was the shadow of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. I will tell you this from the hadith that I have read about the merits of Sayyidina Abu Bakr. I'm going to give you naqal of Imam Suyuti. Imam Jalaluddin as-Suyuti, rahmatullahu ta'ala alayh, mentions in Tariq Khulafa that there was no difference between the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam and Sayyidina Abu Bakr. The only difference was nabuwa. And what do we say? He spoke like the Prophet. He walked like the Prophet. He sat, he slept, he ran his business. Everything he did was like the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. I'll take you to the time of the battle of Badr. Now how many companions were there? 313 companions. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam ordered khema, the tents to be put. And we waited. The kuffar were on one side, over 1,000. And the Muslims were on one side, 313. And Sayyidina Omar came into Jalal. Sayyidina Omar was the first one to enter the battlefield. And he was waiting for the hukam of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And he said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, give me ijazah, let me begin. And you remember that this is also history for those non-Muslims. Kuffar started the war. Always. It was always the kuffar that started the war. So the Prophet ﷺ said, not yet, Umar. Wait. And what is he waiting for? Wait till Abu Bakr tells you to go into the battlefield. Everybody's waiting for the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ says, no, wait for Abu Bakr. Because Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu, amongst all of the companions, was the most sound and calm in decision making. When he says to begin, we will begin. That's one. Now I'm going to take you to the battle of Tabuk. Sayyidina Umar was in Jalal. Let me go in. Let me start this war. Let me go in and fight for Islam. And in one tent, he went to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, please give us ijazah. Why are we waiting? In Badr there was 313. Now there's 1,500 of us. Why should we wait for them? Let us begin. The Prophet ﷺ said, Ya Umar, that I only begin anything when it comes to the hukam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be patient. So he learned his lesson from the time of Badr. He said, let me go and see Abu Bakr. He went into the tent of Sayyidina Abu Bakr. And Abu Bakr said, Ya Umar, wait until the Prophet ﷺ gives hukam. And he said, we should begin. He says, no hukam starts with the Prophet ﷺ, it's the hukm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why am I telling you this? The same message from the Prophet ﷺ was the same message that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu said. No matter where he went, it was always the words of the Prophet ﷺ that he was the greatest example to the Prophet ﷺ. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. These are the merits. When you live with someone for so long, when you sit with them, when you talk with them, you adopt their personality. And that's why the ulama say that the Prophet ﷺ definitely did not have a shadow. But it is an example of a shadow. Wherever the Prophet went, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Abu Bakr was with him. There's a famous hadith Mubarak of the Prophet ﷺ. I would like to share it with you today. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أبو بكر وعمر سيدا كهول له الجنة من الأولين والآخرين أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. He said Abu Bakr and Umar are the leaders of the men of paradise. من الأولين, from the beginning of time to the end of time. والآخرين. Their maqam is so great that everybody here, anyone who passes away over the age of maturity, their sardar, their sayyid is Abu Bakr and Umar radiallahu anhuma. That's their maqam and martaba. Abu Dar radiallahu anhu, great companion, great Ansar companion of the Prophet alayhi salatu salam. He was walking in Madinatul Munawwara. And the Prophet alayhi salatu salam saw him that he was walking in front of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Oh Abu Dar, come here." And the way in Jamia Tirmidhi, the way they describe it is that the Prophet ﷺ face became very jalal. So they asked Abu Dar, how was his face? Everybody knows what a pomegranate is. And when you take out the juice of the pomegranate, what color is that? That was the color of the face of the Prophet ﷺ when he called Abu Dar radiallahu anhu. And he says, "How dare you?" Abu Dar said, "Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what did I do?" He said, "How dare you walk in front of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq?" He said, "Ya Rasulullah, why?" He said, "Don't you know that he is the greatest amongst the companions?" So Abu Dar radiallahu anhu grabbed the hand of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam and said, "Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is he the greatest of the people of Medina?" He said, "Yes, indeed, he is the greatest amongst the people of Medina." So then Abu Dar said, "Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is he greater than the people of Medina and Makkah?" The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam said, "Yes, indeed, he is the greatest amongst the people of Makkah and Medina." Then Abu Dar radiallahu anhu said, "Ya Rasulullah, is he the greatest of the people fil ard, people of the ground on this earth?" The Prophet ﷺ, not only is he the greatest of the people of Medina, not only is he the greatest amongst the people of Makkah, but he is the greatest amongst the people fil ard was sama, the people on this earth and the people on the skies. That is the maqam of Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. You want to exemplify somebody, you pick Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. And Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu had a son, a beautiful son. His name was Muhammad. His name was also Muhammad. And he went to his father, Sayyidina Ali, Muhammad bin Hanafiya, radiallahu anhu. And he went to his father, Sayyidina Ali al-Murtada, radiallahu anhu. And he said, "Ya Abba Jan, who amongst the companions of the Prophet alayhi salatu was salam has the highest maqam and martaba?" And Sayyidina Muhammad bin Hanafiya radiallahu anhu said, "Without a doubt and hesitation, my father answered as soon as I finished asking my question. He said, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu." And then he said, Sayyidina Muhammad bin Hanafiya said, "Ya Abba Jan, summa man?" Then who? He said, he didn't hesitate. He said, "The son of Khattab, Omar radiallahu anhu." And then he said, remember, he is the son of Sayyidina Ali. He wants to hear his father's name. He said, in my heart came that if I ask one more time to my father, he's going to mention the name of Uthman. He said, Ya Abajan, after Omar, it's you, right? He says, I am just a Muslim amongst the Muslims. After me is Uthman. Allahu Akbar. You ask any of the companions, where did you see the Prophet ﷺ the most? He said, in the middle between Abu Bakr and Omar. He said, who did you see with the Prophet ﷺ the most? He said, anywhere we looked, any companion that we saw, any majalis that we went to, any time we went anywhere, we saw the Prophet ﷺ in the middle, Abu Bakr on the right, and Omar on the left. Anywhere we went, Abu Bakr and Umar, Abu Bakr and Umar. They asked the Prophet ﷺ, where are you coming from? Me, Abu Bakr and Umar, we're coming from here. Ya Rasulullah, where are you going? He said, me, Abu Bakr and Umar are going here. Ya Rasulullah, what is the decision that you are making? Me and Abu Bakr and Umar have decided to do this. Always from the mouth of the blessed mouth of the Prophet ﷺ. The two names that came out the most was Abu Bakr and Umar radiyallahu anhuma. Allahu Akbar Kabira. This is the maqam and martaba of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. And now the battle of Tabuk. A tribe came. Very famous Vakya. Jaysh-e-Usra. A tribe that just newly joined Islam and were going to the battle of Tabuk. And the Prophet ﷺ gave alan to Sayyidina Bilal Habashi radiyallahu anhu and said, call all of the people of Madinah al-Munawwara, give alan. I have called them to bring all of what they can bring to help the tribe and help aid the battle of Tabuk. It's a famous Vakya, but I want to touch on a certain point. The Prophet ﷺ's companions brought things in front of the Prophet ﷺ. That day, Sayyidina Umar, a very competitive companion of the Prophet ﷺ. And he didn't compete with anybody else. He wanted to compete with Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. And he said, Abu Bakr, no matter what happens, Abu Bakr always beats me. Today, I'm going to beat Abu Bakr. That was his niyyah. I want to beat Abu Bakr in what? Goodness. Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu anhu brought his stuff and he brought it to the bargha of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam said, Ya Umar, what did you leave at home? The question was, what did you bring to me? What did you leave at home? He didn't have fikr alayhi salatu wassalam about what you brought. He said, what did you leave to your family? Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu anhu said, whatever I have brought, I have left the same amount at home for my family. And over in the distance came Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. Peti after peti, coming with Sayyidina Abu Bakr. And he put it in the bargha of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Said, Ya Abu Bakr, what did you leave at home? This is so much stuff. What did you leave at home? Look at the iman of Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anh, who ordered his family, not even a ring should be left on your finger, not even the drapes upon the windows. He brought everything and put it in front of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And when the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam asked, Ya Abu Bakr, what did you leave at home? He said, I left Allah and His Rasool at home. That is enough for my family. Look at the iman. Right there and then, Sayyidina Jibreel Amin, the Archangel Gabriel, Allah's favorite malaika, came in the libas of Sayyidina Abu Bakr. And what was he wearing? A ripped up jubba. And he said, Allah's Paygam has come to order all of the malaika to wear the libas of Abu Bakr Siddiq because he loved what he did so much. And Sayyidina Abu Bakr's libas torn, everything ripped. Old jubba he wore in front of the Prophet. Sayyidina Jibreel came. Sayyidina Mikail was wearing the same libas. Sayyidina Israfil, Israel and all of the malaika. fis sama'i, wore the same labas as Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And that is not the point. The point is, Sayyidina Jibreel said, we have a paygam from Allah. Tell my Habib, alayhi salatu wassalam, ask his yare ghar, ask his dost, ask his friend, is he razi with his Rabb? Allahu Akbar. Here we are, brothers, reading our namaz, giving our zakat, going for Hajj, Umrah, doing good deeds. We wish that Allah will be razi with us. Here the Rabb is sending his archangel to the Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, go ask Abu Bakr, is he razi? Is he okay? Is he accepting of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allahu Akbar kabira. Gosh, we can be those people that make Allah so happy that he says, go ask my slave, is he happy with his Lord? Abu Bakr answered 3 times, Ana razun ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ask Allah to accept my good deeds in his court. Allahu Akbar. Sayyidina Abu Bakr, I wish you guys read Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu Siratul Mubarak, and you understand that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam on Hajj wal Wida, the last sermon that he gave to his companions, he said, I have repaid all of you. Whatever you have given to me and given to Islam, I have given whether it was a dirham or dinar, whether it was anything you have given fi sabilillah, I have returned it to you. Allahu Akbar. Except Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. I've given everybody. Omar, I've given you back. Uthman, I've given you back. Talha, Ubaidullah, Abdullah ibn Umar, any companion that you name, he mentioned it on this sermon. I've given you everything back. But Abu Bakr, I cannot repay Abu Bakr for what he has given to Islam. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be able to repay Abu Bakr. That is the boj, that is the weight of the goodness that Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu has given to Islam and to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam made 3 du'as for Sayyidina Abu Bakr. One, oh Allah, bless Abu Bakr for what he has given in the early times of Islam. One ravayat is he gave 40,000 dirhams upon Alani Nabuwat. He was the first man to accept Islam. Not like me and you who want dalil. The Prophet ﷺ says, I am a Nabi of Allah. Abu Bakr says, Sadaqta ya Rasulullah. I believe you, you have said the truth ya Rasulullah. He didn't need mojazat. He didn't need karamat. He didn't need to see. Enough was the zuban of the Prophet ﷺ. And he said, I'm a Nabi of Allah. I'm the Rasool of Allah. He says, Sadaqta ya Rasulullah. I believe. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. Without hesitation. No iman is greater than Abu Bakr's iman. Last point I'm going to mention. He made 3 du'as. Quickly I'm going to tell you. One, that what he has given me on the first night of Alani Nabuwat. Second, he freed my slave Bilal Habashi. That he is the good deed. One good deed of Abu Bakr is Sayyidina Bilal. And Sayyidina Bilal is Muazzinul Islam. He will have the longest neck on the day of Qiyamah. He is the master of the companions. Sayyidina Umar says, Bilal is the master of my master. He is the master of Sayyidina Abu Bakr. Allahu Akbar Kabira. Last point, the third dua. Ya Allah, bless Abu Bakr that he gave me his daughter in nikah. 3 du'as khas that held with the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Abu Bakr is that individual when the blessed children of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam were young, after the demise of Khadijatul Kubra radiyallahu anha, nobody wanted to give to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Abu Bakr stood up. He said, I gave you 40,000 then. I gave you my John then. He goes, now I'm going to give you my daughter as well. Allahu Akbar Kabira. And what a pak daughter he gave. Sayyid Aisha, who was an alima, hafiza. She was a mufti. Allahu Akbar. What a beautiful daughter that you have Islam today, my brothers. The second greatest narrator of hadith is Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha. She is such a great woman. She is our mother. We respect her, and we respect her blessed father, who is the greatest man to walk this earth after the Anbiya Rasool. And last point I'm going to make. Nobody from the Sahaba, 124,000, think about this number, give or take, had the jurrat to stand upon the musalla of the Prophet ﷺ. Not Omar, not Uthman, not Ali, not Ashra Mubashara, not the people from Badr, not Uhud. Rawayat came down, Sayyidina Jibreel. The Prophet was in the Hujra Mubarak, they were feeling ill at their later times of life. Hayati Zindagi. And Sayyidina Jibreel came after the dua of the Prophet ﷺ, said, Ya Allah, I don't have the strength to go read. Who should I appoint? Sayyidah Aisha gives a rawayat, and he says, 3 times I asked to put Ali onto the musalla. And 3 times Jibreel Amin said, no. Only person deserving to be on the musalla is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. And then he called Sayyidina Abu Bakr, and he said, Paygam came from Jibreel Amin, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abu Bakr is the only one worthy to stand upon the musalla of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. That Khalifa-tur Rasool, that greatest man that we're talking about today, that at the demise of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, the calmness, the Sahaba were in worry. They were worried about what was going to happen. The one who controlled the ummah was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to walk in the footsteps of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Be a lover of the companions like Abu Bakr. Be the one who follows in the way of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free the people of Palestine. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free the Muslims oppressed all over the world. Syria, Afghanistan, Yemen. Everybody should say Ameen to this. People in Hindustan, Kashmir, anywhere in the world, may Allah free the Muslim world. Give it back to the rightful owners, which is the Muslims. Anything that I've said in error is on my lack of knowledge and my behalf. Anything that you benefit from is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa aquli qawli hadha wa astaghfirullahi wa lakum wa akhu da'waya.